Well, good morning again, Cody.
Good morning, sir.
Almost missed you.
Hey, all those years of COVID, we forget how to shake hands, man.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to wash. No, here we are fishing again with Cody Herman with Day One Outdoors. It's pretty exciting. It's fall Chinook and coho, and talking to Cody yesterday, he said even though I'm not much of an ocean guy, he said the bite's on out there for coho, so we're going to go. And he asked me what we wanted to do today, and I thought it'd be great to really share today's focus with you on crossing the bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe Cody would tell you, I've been pretty intimidated by it, especially after going through the Maritime Museum.
Yeah.
They say it's one of the most dangerous bar crossings, in the U.S.?
In the world.
In the world.
Yep, it's number 1 or 2 in the world.
And so we're going to go out there in an open boat and cross it today.
Hey, no big deal. Open boat, closed boat. As long as you're smart about it, pay attention, listen to the Coast Guard, and know your own limits, bar crossings are pretty easy. But once we get out there and get out towards the tips, we'll actually stop on the bar and we'll talk about it a little bit, because today is going to be a beautiful day. There's currently no restrictions on the bar, so it should be fairly calm. So once we get out there, we'll stop and chat about how to safely cross.
Hey, Stevens Marine is one of our customers, and this is a Stevens Marine Alumaweld boat.
It is.
You want to tell everybody just a little bit about the vessel we're on today?
You bet. So we're going to be going out there in the ocean here today in a 30-foot Alumaweld Pacific CC. CC stands for center console. And this is a boat designed specifically for fishing the ocean and the big waters here of the Columbia River. And I have twin 150s on the back, and I do that because we're going out there in the ocean, and I like having a backup motor.
Yeah,
anytime, anytime you're going offshore, man, it's nice having a backup motor, even if you're just going a couple miles as opposed to like tuna fishing where you're going 60, 80 miles. Always nice having a backup. But this is a really nice dry riding boat. It's built for this, and it'll be a nice smooth ride all the way on out to the salmon grounds here. We'll be out there probably in about 30 minutes.
And as we're pulling out of the West Mooring Basin, tell me a little bit, how's our rod risers and tackle tenders holding up for you?
I'll tell you what, those tackle tenders, they are a godsend. They really are, and that's because when I'm crossing over the bar or just running around the river here, it keeps everything in place. You don't have gear bouncing around, the flashes aren't flying out, the leads are staying put. And with customers, there's nothing better than making sure that their gear is safe and stationary while we're running. And even when we're landing fish, when we got to get lines up and out of the water, hey, put your stuff in the tender and keep it out of the way while we're trying to land this fish. So they're awesome. And the rod risers, what they do for me is they actually keep my gear out a little bit farther. This is a long boat, so when I'm trying to turn the boat and we're crabbing in the wind or in the current, it keeps the rods out. Even with 10.5-foot long rods, it helps keep them out and keeping the line off the corners of the boat and out of the motor itself.
And
so
it gives
really
you more room inside the boat because the rod butt's not inside.
Exactly, yeah, you're not stabbing yourself in the chest with a rod butt. You got everything outside the boat, keeps everything clean and out of the way, and that's what I really, really like. I need to have a clean vessel so that way I can do my job effectively.
I talked to a guide yesterday, and he said we really cleaned up his game. He said having them on this boat's really cleaned up the boat.
Otherwise, it's a yard sale. You got flashes bouncing around, leads down on the deck, people are stepping on stuff, crushing baits, ruining hooks. No, this is the way to go.
So we've left the West Mooring Basin. As you can see, this is the kind of stuff that just came in out there. If you get a chance, study the river pilots. It's quite interesting how they do their job. But here we are out on the water, and I think it's time to go ahead and head for the ocean.
Yeah, we got ourselves a little 10-mile run here out to Buoy 10 itself, which is the start of the Columbia River Bar. From Buoy 10 to Buoy 4 is the actual bar itself. We're going to go around the North Jetty and head across the Wash Rock and try and find some coho and some Chinook.
All right, let's do this.
Here we go. So here we are, boys. We're out on one of the most dangerous bars in the world, and she's not much to look at right now between the fog and just how calm it is. But that doesn't mean that she can get angry in a hurry. One of the most scariest days I've ever had out here, the bar was unrestricted just like today. Today, it's beautiful. It's gonna be a great ocean. We're right here off the edge of the North Jetty. and this is probably the roughest part that we're gonna see the bar here all day today. There's a little wash rock out here, which is why the waves are stacking up and starting to crash up over the end of the North Jetty. But as soon as we get around the current here from the Columbia River and get out in the open ocean, it'll be real nice and calm. But one of the things that I get asked all the time is, how do you safely cross the Columbia River bar? And the issue is that there are so many factors. The only way that you can actually learn how to cross the bar is by doing it. But you need to know your ability as a captain. You need to know the ability of your boat. How nimble is your boat? How slow or sluggish is it? How quickly can you power yourself out of a bad situation or ride the backside of a wave? So before you even start looking at weather forecasting, you start there. From there, talk to the Coast Guard. This is actually the bar where they do all their surf school training, which means that they fly in Coast Guard personnel from around the country to come here to train how to deal with rough water. And this is also where they have their rollover boats, the 47-foot Moto Life boats that are intentionally designed to flip over in the rough water and then right themselves. It's unbelievable. Those guys are insane.
Now, do you still do your seminars out here?
Yeah, still, you bet. Yeah, still do the seminars, but really, again, the seminars can only do so much. We can tell you how to read tide tables, how not to cross the bar in most situations during an outgoing tide. That's usually when the river water and the ocean water hit and the bar gets a little angry, so outgoing tides are usually not the best time to go.
One thing I just want to throw in, I definitely can tell you from fishing this estuary here, damn sure need to learn how to read your charts, because when that fog rolls in and you're 5-10 miles from home, it's pretty spooky, especially with the sandbars. But
you bet.
We came in at dark in the fog. We put in at Lewiston, Idaho, and went the whole 500 miles, and you need to appreciate your charts. So.
Well, and honestly, charts can only take you so far.
But at least having a trail to get home, a way to be able to track myself back to the dock.
Absolutely.
So.
There's a couple of spots on my chart, even though it's been updated here recently, that it says I'm on dry land and I'll be in 20 feet of water.
Right.
So the best thing you can do, I always caution people, if you don't know where you're going, don't go any faster than you want to hit something.
Yeah. And my advice would be just like the same advice we're taking today, is we've hired a guide.
There you go.
Well, not hired him, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And he's taking us out here and he's going to show us what it's like. That would be my best advice, hands down. And pick somebody reputable.
Definitely. And you can see the waves are crashing right over here off the end of the North Jetty, and they're starting to stack over there to the right. You can see them building right over there to the right. That's the wash rock. So a wave can never be taller than it is deep, if that makes sense. So think of it this way, a tsunami, what happens when a tsunami is coming? Where does the water level go on the beach? It gets sucked out, right? Because the wave can only stack as tall as the water depth. So these waves right here, when you see them start to build, out here I'm looking at little 2-3 footers. When I look over there, they start to build at 4 or 5 footers. That means that there's something underneath that's pushing them up and starting to stack. You see them start to break. That means however tall that wave is how deep it is underneath it.
Interesting.
And that's true even when you're running on the sandbars up here in the estuary itself. If you see a bunch of wind waves and all of a sudden it's flat calm, it's bad news. That's a sandbar. So stay away from that too. Look at this, we're already across the bar and we're just sitting here putting around.
I can hear a
beautiful day.
Buoy ringing.
Yeah, right there behind us.
And which buoy is that?
That one is buoy 3.
Buoy 3.
Or buoy 5, excuse me. Buoy 3 is the next one.
What's the sea lion issue on eating your salmon when you're reeling them in? Is it the same out here as it is in there?
It's crazy. We're covered up in seals and sea lions out here. They leave us alone.
But in there,
they'll take every single last one of them if they can. They'll follow your boat around and everything. But if you guys are ready, we can hit the corner here, go around the wash rock and put some lines in, start catching some coho. 15, 25, 35 are our numbers. fish look like big fish. There's a little 5-pounder. The camera guy, get way down low. Sit all the way down to the bottom of the boat. Okay, now you're gonna look up towards me. I'm gonna hide my hand behind the fish and push it out. Now I got a 20-pounder.
Well, what are your takeaways of the day?
You know, today was a really fun day. It was kind of cool being able to cross the bar when it was nice and smooth and chat about that a little bit. I really expected that we were going to land on fish and whack and stack and we'd be done by 9 o'clock. That didn't happen. We had to hunt them up, but we did. We ended up finding them at the end of the day and got on a really good bite. That was a blast. That was a good time.
Yeah, well, we limited out, so.
Yeah, can't complain when you come back to the dock.
Complain for that.
12 coho, nice grade.
Come in with your head held high. Hey, you know, each story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and we had a great beginning this morning. We had a great middle. I learned a lot. I feel pretty comfortable crossing the bar in certain conditions.
Yep.
And we need to have an end, which is let's fillet these salmon up on our fillet table.
Now the work begins.
There we go.